Okay. Hi everyone. Um, the topic today is why smart people fall for sociopaths. Um, for me personally, it's a very interesting topic because, first of all, I do consider myself as a pretty smart person. And as some of you who have been ever encountered with sociopaths, those people, they make my wheels spin for sure because they're intense. And we are going to talk today about this. And before we start, I'm going to ask, have you ever looked back at any relationship and thought, oh, wow, I am actually intelligent, but what on earth was that? And I can tell you from my personal experience, I've had this. It bothered the hell out of me. So this is a very valid topic. And what I see from my perspective is that more and more people in our life today have become more sociopathic. And I'm not sure that they were born that way. I would say it's environment that helps them to become even more sociopathic. So when you ask yourself that question, what the hell was that? You you analyze things, right? You see patterns like myself. You give great advice to friends when you see something like this in their life. And then suddenly you are yourself in a relationship where you are explaining basic respect. When you're Googling some situation and asking, is that normal? And you're doing it at night because it bothered the hell out of you. Okay? And somehow you may find yourself that you even apologize for their behavior. So if any of those questions crossed your mind, if that sounds familiar, well, you are in the right place to talk about it. And it's not about blaming you for not seeing, not recognizing, not being smart enough or something. No, it's actually the opposite. I'm not saying, well, you are naive. No, it's the opposite. You are far from being naive. You're smart, you're sensitive, and self-aware, because those kind of people are often more vulnerable. They are more vulnerable, not less. So, and by the end of our conversation, you will understand why it happens. You will understand how it happens so fast, and how to spot it early. Okay, now I am going to start sharing because I always forget about it. Okay, so who are we talking about? Let's simplify that. When I say sociopath here, I do not mean a movie, some sort of villain movie with a dramatic music. No, I'm not talking about that. I mean someone who lacks real empathy. And sometimes you actually may find some people who make jokes, very cruel and dry jokes. Those people also need to be looked at a little bit more careful because they may carry lack of empathy. And if you see that somebody is lacking empathy, it's a very big question mark already right there. Then another trait is those people manipulate without guilt. They are lacking it, they just don't really understand. They mirror you to win you, okay? And then slowly they rewrite reality, okay? And they don't walk the line, and they're not saying, well, hi, I am here to ruin your life. They've never say anything like this. They walk in like, wow, I've never felt this connection with anyone before. Okay? So, why smart people fall for them? That is where it gets interesting. Intelligence doesn't mean, and it's not equal emotional immunity. Smart people usually think, I will figure it out. So instead of leaving early, they analyze, and you may be one of them. But it's definitely my pattern because I do analyze. And I had this experience in my life, and I can tell you that I was smart enough to see science, to not to go too deep, okay? Those people rationalize, and I was also rationalizing, okay? We give benefit of the doubt because we want that to work. You basically open a full investigation instead of just walking out. Okay? And emotional people, smart people, they see potential. They don't see the patterns. Okay? You don't fall for who they are. You fall for who they could be because once you saw how good that person can be. Okay? And you keep on holding on to it that this person could be X, Y, Z. You fall for who they were in the first 2 weeks you met them, or months. Okay, you carry this image. Okay, you fall for who they promise to become, because those people, they promise. Okay, so meanwhile, while this all happening, the reality is this: you're like, but what if those red flags that I am seeing, not really red flags, what is that? What if they a little bit burgundy, right? So you try to make it work. You try to give wishful, it's your wishful thinking. But you want to work it out so badly that instead of just identifying, well, this is simply red flag, I need to walk out, you convince yourself that this red flag is burgundy. So you can keep on going with them. Another thing, that they mirror you perfectly. So, and this is one of their real superpowers. They do mirror you perfectly. And they become your soulmates. They make you believe that you twin flame. Okay? That you finally someone who gets them, right? So you feel good, like, I mean, there is a connection going on, there is a situation, it must be real, it must be true. Okay, you think that is so rare, finally, but it is rare. It is rare because it's not real. Okay? Okay. And then this is the addictive part. They give you intense love. Then after intense love, they give you withdrawal. Then they love again. Then again withdrawal. So they give you this roller coaster, which brings you up and down, up and down, up and down. And this is one of the things when people got confused, because it's so fast. They don't have time to slow down and actually ask a real question. Okay? Your brain goes, maybe this time I will win for sure, consistency, right? So maybe this time finally we'll start consistent. Everything is going to be consistent from this time. Okay? And you know, like, and then nothing, and then nothing happened again. Okay, and you're not in love anymore. Okay, so it's a swing in a different direction. It's like you are in a psychological casino or something. Okay, and you are capable. So when something feels off, you don't say this is wrong. You say, let me understand this deeper. Okay? And they know it. They do know. Okay? And this is very beautiful in therapy if you are doing this, if you're asking those questions, it's beautiful. Because it allows you to really look deeper, but not in manipulation. The moment you come across with a person who manipulates, that's it, you're done. The moment you ask that question, let me understand a little bit deeper. That's it, you're done. Because you're on the hook with manipulating. Okay, how that actually happens, let's talk about this. Let's talk about few stages. Stage first is idealization. So you are different from everyone else. I've never opened up like that, they tell you, right? I see future with you, right? So you feel, oh my God, I am chosen, special, almost relieved, right? That's how it feels. And then stage two, complete confusion. Because small things start to happening, like inconsistency, like weird comments here and there. All of a sudden you hear them, you know, like they start kind of like happening around you. Subtle disrespect that at the beginning may feel like, what is this, like something is not right, like you kind of like it's rubbing off a little bit, you know, like in a bad way, but you cannot put your finger on it, but you feel like there is a disrespect a little bit, okay? And then you are thinking, oh well, maybe I am overthinking, maybe I am over exaggerating, but you're not. With those people, you're not. And even if you think, well, maybe I am overthinking, you just need to take it as a yes. Meaning, as a no in this case, meaning that no, you're not overthinking, and yes, you need to walk out. Because if this person is not what we're talking about, if this person is not sociopath, things will change with this person. But if this person sociopath, you'll save yourself. Okay? So you are not overthinking. Stage 3, emotional roller coaster that you are on, because now they pull away, you'll try harder. They return and they give you just enough for you to grab it and start hoping again. Because they know that you are waiting for just a little bit. And these people, because they are manipulating, they don't give you much. They give you enough. It's like, you know, like it's like in desert when you are thirsty, and you know, like you can drink the whole, you know, like lake, you think, right? And then you come somewhere and you had just a glass of water, right? And it's enough to keep you going, but it's not enough to satisfy your thirst. So these people, they are doing something like this. You start, because of what they are doing, you start earning love. Okay? So you think, well, I can do it, I can earn. And it becomes like a job. Okay? Unpaid, by the way. Okay? So stage 4, self-doubt start happening, right? On stage 4. And this is the dangerous one. Because you go from I am a confident person to, well, maybe I am the problem. And imagine if you are living with these patterns 10, 20, 30 years. Imagine what damage is done to your system. Okay? Because this shift didn't come from anywhere. I am a problem. From I am being confident to I am a problem. It just didn't come from nowhere. It comes from a beautiful job that those people do. Okay? So, what are the early red flags? Because I want to talk about this because you all need to know that there are red flags. And once again, I want to say that if the person you're pulling away from is not sociopath, things will be fine. Okay? You're not going to ruin the relationship if in front of you is a normal man. Okay? So red flags, earlier red flags is too much too fast. Okay? If it feels like a movie montage, like in a week, you need to question. It is not love. Okay? It's a strategy. So that's one of the signs that you need to look for. Inconsistency. Words, I adore you, or I'm in love with you, and then behavior disappears for 2-3 days. Okay? Consistency cannot, intensity is more than consistency. So this is the ratio that is happening with these people. And it's always like this. So if there is no consistency, but a lot of intensity, you need to question. Okay? Even if there are not other signs, no matter, if you missed some, but there is it's intense, but consistency is lacking, it's already enough for you to question. So be aware of it. It's one of the very strong red flags in every relationship. Okay? Then you feel slightly anxious. That's another key. Okay? Not dramatic anxiety, like when you are going banana. No, subtle. Like you cannot find yourself. You constantly kind of remember how I was saying in the beginning, something is not right. You cannot put your finger, but it's constantly, something is happening. It's like you're out of place. Something is not right. So that is a subtle anxiety. That is one of the signs. If something feels off, but I cannot explain, I cannot put my finger on it. Okay? And the reason why you are having it I'm feeling something, because it's your nervous system talking to you. Your nervous system is much smarter than your logic. It's already giving you, that little anxiety, okay, dude, pay attention to what's happening here because I am not feeling comfortable. And it's right. Okay? So that is another very good sign that you need to look for. So boundaries feel kind of uncomfortable to set with these people. For instance, you feel like saying that if you say, hi, I didn't like that, it kind of feels a little bit scary. You cannot speak up, basically. You are not feeling comfortable. Okay? That's another sign that you can drive information from, because healthy people, they don't punish honesty. Honesty in a relationship, one of the best thing. So if you feel you cannot be honest with those people, that's another red flag that you need to just walk out. Another one is you start explaining basic respect. Well, this is like, for me, it's, like, if I even see something like this, it's like done deal. Because if you find yourself saying, well, I just want honesty, or I want a consistency, I want to make sure that I can rely, pause. If this is something that you are saying, pause immediately. Because those are negotiation for bare minimum. It has to come with relationship. You don't have to negotiate for consistency, for honesty, because responsibility itself is consistency. So, and responsibility itself build on honesty. So if you cannot find this in communication with the other person, those are huge red flags, and you do not need to talk, you do not need to try. That's it. Those relationships has to be just, quit. So how to protect yourself? Okay? Well, don't negotiate. Don't set up walls. Don't set up walls. Don't shut down yourself. You need to just be very clear. You need to bring as much clarity as you can. Because if you think about sociopath, they're like a little cockroaches who constantly hiding in the corners. So when you are bringing clarity, it's like you walking in the room with lights. Okay? So the more clarity you try to bring, the more real picture you will see. Like if there is light in the room, you see exact numbers of cockroaches in that room. So, and cockroaches, that they are not liking lights. So you need to bring light, right? Clarity. Watch first. Watch actions, not words. Okay? Words are cheap. Oh my God, they are so good with words. If you're going to listen to their words, you're done. Watch for the actions. Consistency is very expensive. Very expensive. And trust what repeats. Okay? So those are the things that you need to watch for. Do not overanalyze early. You don't need to, like full psychological profile. You need only one question. Do I feel calm in this relationship? Or I feel confused? Okay? So if I feel confused, that's enough. That is enough. Okay? So, next thing, slow down the pace. That's how you're protecting. Right now, we're talking about what is it that you're doing for yourself. So you need to slow down the pace. Reconnect. Real connection survives time. Don't rush. Okay? Manipulation needs speed. So if you are playing this game and you are going into this constant speed, you are going to be prone to spiral down, because there is no windows even for your nervous system to give you a sign. Maybe it will give you a sign, because you know what I've seen that people will meet somebody and all of a sudden they come and they say, wait, well, I have this perfect her or him, but I got sick, and they really got sick. I mean, I'm not talking about like simple cold or something. I mean, they do get sick because body at some point tells them, okay, enough is enough. If you cannot listen, if you cannot help yourself, I am going to just stop you from doing something bad to yourself. So that's how body talks to us. You need to look for it. You need to slow down yourself. Leave at the first pattern. So when you see the pattern, don't wait until it's going to be 50 of them. No, you've seen 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1 is a red flag, okay? And it's like observation. Second red flag, okay, is okay, kind of like pause. Third, that's pattern. But if you have waited until 5, that is a personality. 5 same actions is personality. There is no maybe. There is no I will make him or her. No, it's a personality. Okay? So don't wait for anything. Okay? Stop trying to earn their love. Healthy love. It's not confusing. It's not unstable. And it's not exhausting. However, unhealthy love is confusing, is unstable, and is exhausting. So if you have to work for basic emotional safety, this is a big question mark. This is not love. That's labor, meaning you need to be out. So here's the truth. You didn't fall because you're weak. Okay? You fell because you feel deeply. You see potential. You are open. And those are your strengths. They just need direction. This is very important to understand. So next time, instead of asking, why am I like this? Ask, what am I tolerating here that I shouldn't? This is a very deep question. Ask yourself. That question changes everything. Okay? Once you start asking right questions in the situations like that, and answering and feeling and allowing your body to speak, you're not going to be confused. You are not going to be in a relationship that brings you pain, because deep down you always know. You always know. Okay? So if this resonates and you recognize yourself in this pattern, that is exactly the kind of dynamic I help people break. I help them not logically, but at the level where attractions and patterns are actually formed. So we are breaking it there at the core. We go and we find out what is it that happened, how that got formed, and then we change it. Forget about that it saves years of therapy, the work that I am doing. I'm not saying that it's 1 or 2 sessions, but it's very quick and there is an end to it. Awareness in this situation is a step 1. Awareness is always step 1. But change happens deeper. And this is what you need to understand. And remember, the right relationship will not require you to abandon yourself to keep it. This is very, very important. You can be yourself and prosper and flourish and feel good and safe in right relationship. Okay? That is very important. And with this, I want you to tell you that please sign up for sessions if you need. There are plenty of options that you can choose from. There is a monthly WhatsApp group support that you can choose. There are a lot of other options. If you reach, we'll figure out which one is for you. And on that note, I want to thank you all for being here today. And I do hope that some of you will leave this webinar with a solid understanding what couple of things that they have to bring in their life, that they must carry through their life to protect themselves from people who are going to damage them. On that note, thank you so much, and I see you in a couple of weeks.